So, you've designed the plane. You've sunk your fortune into it. Are you going to let someone else fly this guppy?
Am I fuck?
Stop cursing.
It's not cursing, that's swearing.
Oh, that's right. You did actually curse a person. We determined that earlier.
I fuck thee. Of course I won't.
You absolutely
I
will
place
not.
a fuck over thy family.
If this is your relationship advice, it's terrible. So, yeah, John's going to fly this guppy.
Of course. It's his baby. It's his
baby.
big, swollen baby.
His big, distended,
Engorged, sickly little baby.
oh, God.
A force-fed plane. It looks like a force-fed plane.
It looks like it was fed. We can still from the picture it was fed 2 other planes and pieces of rockets eventually.
Yeah.
That'll
the
fill you
foie
up.
gras of
That's no Pret
aviation.
sandwich. So, I mean, everyone wants to see this fly, though I'm sure a few of them just wanted to see it crash, because that's why people go to these things. These huge crowds gather. Bets are placed on the outcome. Police and fire departments are on alert, because it doesn't look like it's going to fly.
Yeah.
And a route was chosen that avoided all schools and hospitals.
Classy.
Yes, in case it plummets in a flaming ball out of the sky, which is a thing that happens with experimental airplanes.
And you would think it would happen with this plane.
Yeah, maybe John's flying it because it's like, well, you know, this is a good bet on my part, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if it doesn't fly well, then I don't have to worry about paying off all my creditors.
Absolutely. All my debt's gone.
So here's Scott explaining a bit about what this thing was like to fly.
So flying the Guppy was a pretty unique experience for the crews. Because of its enormous size, it had very different handling characteristics than the foundation that it was built upon. It was very susceptible to crosswinds, it had a lot of drag, and there was no power assist on any of this stuff, so it was all Armstrong handling. You were pumping and pushing and correcting, and it was a full-time job for the flight crew, very fatiguing job to get the cargo safely to its destination.
Wow, so it's like kind of rowing a big boat in the sky.
Yeah, I mean, back these days, you see a pilot can fly a plane with just his finger, right? Because it's an electronic, you push the thing and then it's, it's fly-by-wire.
Would they
right?
use that finger? That seems a little odd to me.
Maybe the thumb. Maybe they'll use the thumb. These days they can use the thumb. But back in the day, this is all mechanical.
Yeah.
It's all like rods and actuators. So you've really got to, just like a car that doesn't have power steering, like you really have to have a fair amount of strength. And look at the freaking size of the thing.
Yeah, so there would have been a big crew of people up there kind of jostling and...
No. You still just got pilot and co-pilot.
Okay,
They
just
got to
two
do the
people.
work themselves. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they don't have to push the plane manually, but to activate the control surfaces, it takes a fair bit of strength.
Right.
That's why you see, like in movies, in the old-time planes when they're plummeting, and the pilot is like, you see his muscles bulging as he's trying to pull the stick back, and it's literally because he's got to... exert enough force to make those control surfaces move against the air that's rushing by it at hundreds of miles per hour.
Right. Okay. And did the plane land? Did it get where it was supposed to go?
Well, we see pictures of it, so we went off without a hitch that first time. Major success, and it soon flew again. This time with the legendary aerospace engineer Werner von Braun on board. This is the guy, he's formerly a German, he was living in Germany, but he works for the Allies after the war, and he was responsible for the Saturn V rocket, the one that got America to the moon, and a host of other things, but that's a whole nother story. Now, apparently while von Braun was aboard, John turns off 2 of the engines in flight just to prove how good his design is, that it can still fly with 2 engines off.
What a fun guy.
Yeah, I think I would have wet my trousers if that happened. It's like, I'm gonna turn 2 engines off.
I think it's a little early to be getting playful, John. On your second flight, this is a second flight here, or one of the early flights.
This is one of the early flights, yeah.
Yeah, that's confident stuff.
Yeah, but the true test of a design is whether you're going to put your own safety on the line to it. So my brother's a contractor, amongst other things, and when he builds a shelf, to show you how strong that shelf is, he'll hang from the shelf.
Right.
It's like, look, if I'm not pulling this down, and I weigh, kid weighs 200 pounds, you can put as many books or tchotchkes as you want up there, and it's going to hold.
Well, that's a nice trick.